We are not just improving online education, we're reinventing it. That's something that you're going to see.
We're not improving education, we are reinventing it.
What you guys see, it's literally not even close to what we're building. Because like at the time, we're building things with very limited resources. When Liberty comes in to say, no, do whatever you want to do, we're going to change everything.
And I don't see a PC.
I don't see an educational company that's going to match what we're doing.
Welcome back to another episode of Good Things with myself, Brent Lindeque, the Good Things guy. Today, I'm very excited because I've got two gentlemen sitting in the hot seat whose names you might know, but it's the app that people might really know. Marvel, Malungelo, welcome to the show. They created something a little while ago that went viral. And you may, if you watched last week's episode, know what I'm alluding to. Nova, an app created to change the education system in this country to enable people with skills so that they can move forward in the education sector, and something that's been a talked about app in the last couple of weeks. Welcome to both of you on the show.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
All right, so I guess let's start at the beginning. For those that might not know your story, which I am so honored that we were able to cover on Good Things Guy, it was an inspiring story of two guys from a rural village in Limpopo that saved together 700 Rand to buy a second-hand computer to start this project. What was the project? What was the idea? What was that initial seed when it started?
Well, it was about having to create an environment. So I remember when he was working as a teacher's assistant on my school, so his job was to clean classes. We used to have this dream of building a digital world only for high school learners. So we were just so obsessed with like, how can we actually make this work? And obviously, having to have a computer was the first thing. But the idea that we had, it's actually like a lived experiences. I have my own experiences that I have with school and the educational sector. He had his own experiences and we both have interest. So to me, it actually started with when my high school principal, Mr. Sarila, who passed away, when I was in grade 10, term 1, my math test, I got 6%. That was for term 1. And then he saw something in me. I had no idea what he saw. And he said, dude, I saw something in you and I want to make this grow. And I just want to help you to be the person that you can be. And what ends up happening was he created a special environment for me. And within the end of the year, I was already getting 100%. And I realized that it's not because I'm smart. It was the environment that it created for me. And when I moved on to grade 11 and to grade 12, I just started to explore so much inequality in terms of how we access high quality education. And I was like, dude, we need to build some sort of an environment where each and every single learner is never going to be left behind. It is actually going to allow learners to grow. It is actually going to be a mentor. It's going to be a parent to those who doesn't have parent, because like the educational problem is a complex one. So many companies come in, you just give learners you just give learners resources. It's not just about resources. We've got learners that are being raped by their parents. You've got learners that doesn't have food at home. You've got so much social problems that learners actually face outside school. So you actually want to solve what they are facing at home, and then you take it, and then you just say, now we've solved everything at home. Now we give you the resources. So that environment was not existing. I saw the need, he saw the need, and we just say, let's just build this thing and let's see how far we can go. And the furthest we could go was to good story, guys. So
stop it. I mean, it's imposter syndrome, maybe, or maybe it's just me being very humbled by having you two sitting on the couch with me today. What you've done and what you've created is unreal. Like, it's so much bigger than Good Things Guy or the stories that we tell. You started the tech side, right?
Yes.
Tell me, what does it take to learn how to code when I don't know, you don't have those skills to start off with?
Yeah, it takes more than just effort. I mean, if you have to do something from scratch, I mean, you must be emotionally stable. I mean, you must have a lot of courage to do that. So as for myself, I'm just a simple person who likes to, when I say things, I do them. So as I had passions even when I was so young to say, okay, I'm dedicated to detect things as always. So as he has indicated, Marvel, so he's the guy with the vision, I'm the guy with the tech. So everything that he had to say, I had to make it to reality.
No pressure.
No pressure. I mean, I can't say I'm a strong man, but whatever that I say I want to do, I do them. So regardless of any circumstances. So learning how to code, it was a tough one, but I feel like it was exciting for myself because I had to face this big mountain ahead of me, and then I had to say, okay, now I think this is it. I have to fight and then do them. So learning how to code, like I had to just find some YouTube tutorials from start and just trying to learn them. Which platform can I use to develop? I mean, if you had no idea on programming, you have to start from below, learning the platform that you need to use to develop, and then going up on top. So I think I try to use the YouTube tutorials and other online resources that they help me so much to learn how to code. I mean, and the difficult problem is that I'm gonna even mention the difficult part when I was learning how to code, just to sum everything up. Because if you are learning how to code and at the same time you don't have the proper machine to do that, it's very challenging. I mean, back there in the village, I mean, if you want to do what we are doing, you must have a lot of courage, because people they are interested in selling tomatoes, selling quarters and whatsoever. So learning how to code took me to a level where I had to say, even if I don't have the proper PC, I have to use what I had. So at the same time, me and Marvel, we just tried to gather some money so that we can at least upgrade the system that I was using, so that I can get things going. Since he had the vision and I'm the tech guy, and I must make things to be visible to your eyes via the app, I must make sure that the machine at least meets the standard.
Yeah.
So we just bought this PC from these guys. I will name him because I'm not shy of him. I think if it wasn't because of him, I shouldn't be here, because it is his computer that made us to be here. It's Tife Badao, is the music producer at home, traditional music producer at home. I mean, that laptop, when we bought it, the screen was broken. I mean, we had to even find some external displays so that we try to project some of the things in the screens. So if you have to conquer two mountains at the same time, learning how to code and also the tech side, I mean, finding the computer and whatsoever, you can see from there that it was extremely tough to say, okay, the first thing, I have to get an equipment to learn how to code. Second thing, I have to go through the tutorials. I mean,
that's a tough ask for anyone. Yes. I'm gonna ask you to name the rural village, because I kind of feel like we put this blanket statement that's it's a rural village, but that's also your home.
Yeah.
And I think everybody there must be so incredibly proud of you guys.
Yes. Okay, the name of the village where we are coming from is Gumbani Village. Gumbani Village.
Gumbani Village.
Gumbani
Yes.
Village.
Gumbani
And we are
Village.
so proud.
So before we talk about the proudness, I need to ask, did your neighbors in your community think you guys were crazy?
Yes.
They must have
as
thought
always,
you were crazy.
As always, because me and Marvel, we always, when we have ideas, we just maybe take a run to the other village, walking, whatever.
Oh, yeah, just talking about
yes,
them, yeah.
discussing. So many people, when they just go past us, they say, what is this guy's doing?
Because like we're like always together. It's just like moving on the highway, talking,
Yes.
moving very slowly, and then like coming back, doing that each and every single day. Because like if you stay in one area, I don't know, I just get distracted easily. But like if we're moving on the highway, speaking, having these ideas and just talking, so I'm pretty sure like there were people that was like, nah, they're gonna pass in a minute, right? And we're actually passed. So for me, even my parents, they had like I've been telling them this thing, they never believed in it. They was like, we have no idea what you're saying. I mean, my mother can't even use WhatsApp, so on her fairness, it didn't make sense why they never had an idea on what we were doing.
So we now at a stage where you've learned how to code.
Yes.
You are skinning the app the way that Marvel wants it.
Yes.
And it's starting to become something real, right? The app is getting downloaded. There's some people hearing about it. How did that work? How was your marketing side? Was it just sort of putting it out onto social media? Where did people start to hear about it?
Okay, but by the way, before I even go any further, I think like luck exists, or maybe some higher power or whatever it was, because everything that we said we're gonna do, it happened in that way. It was not easy to achieve it. So I remember it was last year in January. Yes, I believe it's 2024 in January. I tell this guy, I said, dude, if around June we want to start developing the platform, I should go and just open a TikTok account, and we're gonna use that TikTok account to.
Were you on TikTok before that, or was this
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first time on TikTok. I mean, I did have an account where I just view and do all those things, but I never posted. So I just tell him, I said, I'm gonna start teaching math and science or whatever it is that I'm trying to teach, and then like learners are going to start to to follow our page. Once we have the platform, that's when we're gonna start to talk about the platform. So the idea was open a TikTok account, teach content that's related to high school learners, gain followers. Once you gain followers, you talk about your app, and then people start to download it.
Yeah. So that's how we got it, right? And then we fast forward to 2025. I heard about your story when it was shared by Cool Story Brew.
Yeah.
And it blew up. It blew up. You already had a video that had gone viral on your own account.
Oh, yeah.
But that Cool Story Brew, that was insane, right? What did that feel like to see your story being shared with such a huge, vast amount of people?
I think like we're very bad in communicating. I can tell you that, but
I don't think so.
No, I know, but like this year in January, I have to go back to the University of Cape Town to actually like continue with my studies. I'm doing applied math and stats at UCT, and I tell this guy, I said, dude, I believe that Nova is something which should exist. I believe it matters. I'm not saying that the degree that I was studying, it was not good or in any way. But for me personally, I just felt like Nova was much more important, and I just found purpose into it. And I decided not to continue with my academics, and because of that, you are immediately, you lose all the benefit of being a student. And once it was on the 18th of February, the day I actually became homeless in Cape Town. We had no money. I had no place to stay. Each and every single amount of money that we had, it had to go to Nova to pay for storage, to do all these things. And I was like, yeah, we're cooked, dude. Like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm in Cape Town. I don't know what to do.
Where were you at the time?
He was in Limpopo.
Okay.
So like the best was we're gonna communicate using the cell phone. And I was like, let me just go to upper campus at UCT. That's when I'm actually going to stay. And I stayed there from the 18th of February until, our story was published by Cool Story Brew. So what I was doing was, I would just like sleep on this building called Chris Hani, and I remember there was a time I at least took a week without having a bath. I was like, dude, when am I gonna get a bath? And I realized that I can just start a gym membership on Zone Fitness. So I was like, go to Zone Fitness. I have no muscle. Never gym. Just go there and take a bath, and then come back. For food, you just do like a KFC Streetwise 2 because it was the cheapest. So when that story actually blew up, it was not from the standpoint of, we made an app, the story is blowing up. It was a standpoint of, dude, now I can actually find a place to stay.
Marvel. I interviewed you, and I got to tell your story, and you didn't tell me about this at the time.
At that time, I did not want people to know that, because it was really embarrassing. Because it is really frustrating to for me to get my 7 distinctions in high school. You're this boy, you're this guy who's gonna do some amazing stuff in life, and then later on you take an academic break, and the next thing you know, you're not homeless in Cape Town. you don't want people to know that, right? You don't want to go home to face that reality. You just want to stay and work as hard. And we did just that. In Malungelo's side, the app was so much expensive such that we just became to start. He did not have any money to buy groceries. He did not have any money to buy electricity, because like any amount of money that we had, the priority was, dude, we send it to Marvel so that you can have something to eat. I'm just gonna see it at home. So when the story blew up, it was not just about, oh, the app is now going viral. It was like, dude, we put everything on the line, because like at first Malungelo has to quit his job in order for him to focus on this. And to mind you, he has a girlfriend that he was staying with, and he has a kid. So if you quit your job to focus on this Nova thing, you don't even have a computer. And in fact, you don't even know how to code, right? And you're willing to risk your job. So like when you start to see it happening, it is more than just to see the app being downloaded. It's a thing of, dude, whatever it was that we believe in, it's actually now starting to come into reality.
So believing in your dreams can become a reality, and hard work, consistency, being homeless and giving it your all because you believe in it so much can sometimes work out. It wasn't even, what was it, a week? 10 days.
It was literally 4 months. So like
I'm talking about from the time that Cool Story Brew, from the time that your story came out.
Yes.
I think it was 10 days, 2 weeks. I don't know when Liberty contacted you.
It was actually on the same night. It was actually on the same night. It was around 7, I believe. 7, and Amelia, who's now our mother.
Yes.
So Amelia actually called me. I was still in Cape Town. I was still living on Upper Campus. So I was actually talking with Malungelo. I was just so excited to say, dude, something can actually come out of this. And Amelia called me. She said, hey, my name is Amelia from Liberty. I want to fly you guys down to Johannesburg. And there was a person that I'm not gonna name because okay, look at this. When I was actually homeless in Cape Town, we reached out to this company, and I'm not gonna name it. We wanted to have some content so that we can actually display on our app, because it was just too much for me. Like, a lot of people actually love our platform and they have no idea that a homeless guy is actually running everything. So just like contacted this company and tell them that, hey, we want to use your content within our platform, and then they rejected us. But the CEO of the company sent me an email, said, dude, I went through your app, it's insane. I've never seen anyone approach education in that way. And he just started to help us behind the scene, and he said, never name me, because if you name me, I'm fired. So I sent Amelia's numbers to this guy, and I said, hey, there's this person called Amelia. He has a number. Can you check her out? Because any person can call and say they are this person, but they're not. And then he came back to me after 30 minutes, like, dude, holy cow. I said, dude, this is big. I was like, you serious? He said, dude, she's so good. And when we actually fly into Johannesburg, when we met her, she's so humble, like you would never guess it's her. She has a very calm spirit, but she's just so excited to be helping us as well.
So you got the call on the night. They told you need to come up to Johannesburg. Did they tell you why? Did they? I mean, the why. I'm going to get to the why now with the number and the sort of resources. Your officers, they got R1 million is where I'm going with that, which is insane. But did they tell you that on the night, or was it?
Oh, so at the time, Amelia actually said, hey, do you mind actually listing the stuff that you guys want, so that we can actually assist you with that? So I remember crashing out to her. I said, no, I think I told Malungelo, I said, dude, I don't want a laptop. I don't want a computer. I don't. I'm gonna list everything that I want. I just said, we want office spaces. We want this, we want this, we want this. I think she was mind blown. She said, oh, they actually know what they want. And I just started to explain what the app does, what we're trying to tackle. And I think she was just like, okay, these guys actually know what they want. And then it was on a Tuesday. In the morning, she sent me a WhatsApp. She's, a random Tuesday, I'm still homeless in Cape Town, just speaking with my friends. And then I saw a text around 8 in the morning. She said, hey, I raised $1 million for you guys. I was like, hey, why you send that on the WhatsApp on a random Tuesday? I was like, I could not believe that, because I ignored her for the whole day. I thought, no. I said no. So I just ignored her, did not speak to her. And then I texted her the next day.
It's an unbelievable story. So you flew up to Johannesburg. Obviously, we got to cover that part of the story. The Liberty team. I work quite closely with Drive Hope, who are an important, beautiful, really special part of Liberty. And the team there called me to just say, this is what's happening. You got to get you can break the story. And when that came across my desk, I cried. I cry often. When we see stories, I cry often. But this was different, and you opening yourself up today to be more vulnerable, to share the story that you were homeless at the time, adds a whole other layer, which is just unreal. That you went from being homeless to now being absolutely supported. You have the office space, you have the resources, you have this funding. You are a beautiful South African story about a startup that should be made into a movie in Hollywood. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
When you actually speak about movies, right? I just believe that this is very important for people to know. I believe that is very important for people to know. You actually see the platform, you see what we have done, but on the back of everything, there's actually two human beings. I just want to tell his story because I know he's never gonna tell his story.
Sorry, he is a businessman, so there is a business call happening right now. Do you need to take that call?
No.
Is that another investor? I don't know.
But Malungelo lost his mother at the age of 8. So I think it was 2007 at the time. And then when he lost his mother, after the funeral, his dad actually stopped talking to him, which is horrible, right? So when people actually get to speak about, hey, he learned how to code, and he through load shedding, through a very slow PC. That was not the first struggle that he had to go through, because he had to raise himself and his younger brother. They moved a lot. I remember there was a time he went to this school where he had to walk for an hour to get to school, and then and to again have to come back to a place where you have no parents, you have no one, you just have your little brother. To go from that at the age of 8, right? And you go through that. When you went to Vaal University, on first year, you just get financially excluded, and you have to go back home. I just think that from the tech standpoint or from Nova's standpoint, it should be a reflection to people that are going through the same thing, to just say, hey, there's this guy who actually did that. When you speak about perseverance, I tell him all the time, I was like, dude, people actually think that teaching yourself how to code was the hardest thing that you've ever gone through in life. I don't think that was the hardest thing he actually went through in life. He went through a lot before that. So when you actually start to teach yourself how to code through load shedding, a very slow PC and stuff like that, you were already used to pain. Yeah. Right? You were already used to all of those things. To me, I had an amazing home. Everything was great. So when I started to become homeless, that's why I started to panic. I've never been in such, an immense amount of pain. The first pain that I've been through was when I was in grade 12. I actually did matric 2 times. In fact, let me just tell you this short story. I actually did matric 2 times. When I was in grade 11, I had no idea what I wanted to do. My high school principal that passed away, Mr. Sarila, would ask me, he said, Marvel, you're doing very great. What do you want to do? And for me, what I wanted to do something which has to do with purpose. I wanted to do something which I feel like it matters. It is something that's going to change lives in a way. So when you go to university, at the time, this is how they were presenting it to me. They were like, do you want to do engineering? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know, do engineering for what? I actually wanted to say, do you want to build a car that's going to ensure that people that are blind, I wanted something with purpose. And I remember telling my mother that I have no idea what I want to do. And she said, now you can do medicine. So my mother is a hospital bred. She's mainly sick. And I love my mother, I would do anything for her. When I went to grade 12, I did very great for the first time, but I got rejected for all the medical schools. And I did very great. I did so well. Everyone was like, Marvel, go to the university. And even my school was like, Marvel, go to the university. I said, if I'm not doing medicine, I have no idea what I want to do. Right? The goal is not to get very good grades. The goal is to do medicine. So if I'm not doing medicine, I feel like I failed. And I did matric for the second time. And of course, this time I'm gonna be so great because I'm already good. I achieved my 7 distinctions for the second time. But the problem was the Department of Education made a mistake on my results on life sciences. instead of writing my distinction, I don't love saying the amount of results or marks that I've got, but instead of writing my 90-something%, they said I got 54% in life sciences. And for you to study medicine, you need to have at least 60%. To me, that was very devastating. I can't study 365 days a year for you to make a mistake on my results. And to me, that was the first hit that I've actually faced in life. And I was so lost. I went on to the University of Cape Town, so lost, had no idea what I wanted to do. Now I'm doing applied math and stats. I don't know what applied math and stats is. I don't know the opportunities that are actually coming in, and I just started to lean more towards Nova. That is why it was not, I don't think like for me taking an academic break was the hardest thing to do, because I was already studying something that I had no passion on.
Yeah.
And later on during the year, the Department of Education sent my school a statement to say, oh, we made a mistake, it's not 54, it's actually these results. I was like, dude, what did I do to you? That thing, like for you to make such an immense mistake, and now I'm doing something that I hate. And I went through this very tough moment, being depressed. It was actually so horrible for the first 2 years that I was actually in Cape Town, and now on my third year, I'm homeless. So you look at your trend record to say, dude, on the first year I was depressed. The second year I'm covering from depression. The third year now I'm homeless. Like, what's wrong with my life, right? And then that's why I say that when the story blew up, it was not just the app, going viral. It was like a reflection of everything that we've been through. A reflection for my high school principal having to pass away before he see my results. A reflection for me to, just every horrible thing that has happened, to him to say, dude, I grew up without a father, I lost my mother, I have no idea what I wanted to do with life. Now everything started to get together. That story, that was what it meant for us. When you guys were celebrating the story of these two guys, to us we're celebrating everything that we've actually been through.
So it's not for me to say this, but I want to say I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that you've both been through such a hard time in your life where you had to stand up for your brother and without having parents, and for you to be homeless. But what an incredible change of a chapter to now be in this space where you are able to build and scale Nova as an app.
Yes.
To deliver education back to people who need it the most. And the reason why that matters and the reason why you care is because what you've been through.
Yes.
You understand. You started.
Exactly.
You started this interview by saying it's not just about the education. Mm-hmm. It's about the stories behind the human beings that are having to go home.
Yes.
That are having all of these challenges above just getting through school.
Yes.
And you want to help them more than just education.
Let me just say this thing, right? We're currently building with Liberty that have been so good to us. The words that I'm actually gonna say when we relaunch is that we are not just improving online education, we're reinventing it. That's something that you're gonna see.
We're not improving education, we are reinventing it.
What you guys see, it's literally not even close to what we're building. Yeah. Because at the time we're building things with very limited resources. When Liberty comes in to say, no, do whatever you want to do, we're gonna change everything.
I don't see a PC.
I don't see an educational company that's gonna match what we're doing. They can try anything, but to us, it's not about doing everything by ourselves. We want to collaborate with other people. I just want to make sure that the people that truly deserve to have access to high quality education, they have it, and it shouldn't be just for effect of it's an educational thing, let's just do it. It has to actually matter. It has to meet them with where they are. So many educational companies, the difference is you solve education from a standpoint of data, a data set to say in Limpopo people have no access to high quality education, and you just start to solve it. You have never lived it. So for us, when we've actually lived it, I know exactly how it should be. I know how it should. I know how people I know how educators should speak. I just know all the formulas. That's why I say that we're not just improving it, we're literally reinventing it.
So I don't know if you can see this, or I hope you can feel the passion that's coming through in this interview. I've been sitting for the last half an hour with goosebumps for most of the time. I feel like I'm sitting with the people that we speak about in boardrooms and over coffee when we say the change makers, the people that are making a difference in our country, and you are doing just that. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier on. I'm almost 100% sure that we are going to see your movie in Hollywood one day, and I hope that someone that I can be a little part of it. Me interviewing you.
I think like you guys actually like played a very good role.
No. That's not why I said that. I was kidding.
Yes, I know, but
kidding.
like let's say that it's actually like a Hollywood movie, right? And they want to explain how we started to be published and stuff like that. Like Good Things Guy actually played a very good role. I don't want to. There's a lot of people that actually texted me to say we got your numbers from Good Things Guy. I was like, what? I was like, you guys actually
we're well connected. Well, no, I don't want any part of their movie. Their movie is their story, and it's a beautiful story. And I just am so honored that I was able to sit down with you. I'm so thankful that the story got shared by Cool Story Brew, and we were able then to have the interview and to chat to you. I want to thank you so much for being so vulnerable today and sharing parts of you that we didn't know before. And I'm really sorry that you've been through really hard times in both your lives, but I can see and I'm sure the world can see that it's given you a fire in your soul that is going to change. Reimagine education is what you said.
Yes.
If people want more info, if they want to get ready for this launch, if they want to, I don't know, pre-download, go to a website, where do they go to find you guys so that when this launches, we can all be there screaming from the rooftops?
I think like for launch, a lot of information would be shared, as time goes. We currently even have a time and date for everything, but I don't want to share it in terms something changes. So
Absolutely.
even in terms of
responsible as well.
Yeah. So in terms of how everything would be shared, I believe that there is gonna be an official update from Liberty and from us as well. But yeah, for now, if you want to have access to it, just go to my Instagram account. I'm trying to grow a following. Maybe if I can get like 10,000 followers.
So what is your Instagram account?
It's Chibambu Marvel.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
We're going to put that under the strap line so that you can get it there, and we'll put your socials as well. I know that you're a bit of an introvert because you're behind those computers, busy doing all the techie
Just
things.
give me a computer, I will talk. I'm telling you.
But we are going to put you out there as well. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day, now that you're busy building this massive thing for South Africa. I want to thank you for what you're doing for South Africa. And I want to thank you for tuning in today. I am so incredibly inspired. It's just what a beautiful, beautiful story. And we are so lucky to be able to tell it. Like I say every week, because these people behind the cameras, they shout at me, you need to like, you need to subscribe, you need to do all those things. Okay, love you, bye. I want to hug you both. Give me a hug. Thank you so much.